In Designer, you can work with virtual devices, enabling you to set up your entire audio system before going on site. Or you can use virtual devices to get a better idea of how many devices you need for a given room prior to making a bid specification or estimate. From the home screen for My Projects, you create a project and give it a name. Let's call this new project Niles HQ. Now that I've created a project, I'll select New, then Room Design for the project, and give it a name like Room 123. Now we can double-click into the room to begin our design. In the left panel, you'll see all the virtual devices you can choose from. In this example, we will make a simple design using an MXA 710 microphone, P300 processor, and MXN5 loudspeaker. For a quick starting point, we'll select Optimize to automatically make the recommended audio routes and preferred settings, such as turning on mute synchronization for the devices. Now that the room is optimized, I can either close it or I can go to the coverage map to pre-configure the coverage area of the microphone and loudspeaker. In the coverage map, add your room image reference and give it a size reference between two known points. Drag the microphone or loudspeaker to the intended location to confirm it will provide the desired coverage. To just look at microphone or loudspeaker coverage one at a time, you can turn off a particular device's coverage area using the View Hide icon on the upper left. Click back to the Routing tab if you need to make any further configuration setup for your design, or just wait until you deploy the design to live devices and then continue tuning the room live. For any of the virtual devices, remember that you have quick access to any of their settings by double-clicking into a particular device. Now let's say that we've gotten the design all ready and now want to deploy it on-site to live devices. You'll notice two buttons at the top of your design, Save a Copy and Deploy. If this design will be used again for another room, select Save a Copy. This ensures that the design is saved without any of the specific tuning you may do after the design room is deployed. Once a room is deployed, you can save a copy if the tuning changes are desired for additional similar room deployments or simply for documentation. After we've save a copy, we want to select Deploy to get our design onto the live devices. In the next dialog, you'll see the list on the left is all of the virtual devices from your design. Row by row on the right, select a device to query the online devices that are available for that device type, identify it to make sure it's the right one, and select it. Once every virtual device has been told which online device to deploy to, select Deploy. This will put all the virtual devices' settings and routes onto the online devices, so this may take a few minutes, depending on the number of devices deployed at once. Occasionally, there will be a mismatch between the virtual device and the online device, which requires a firmware change to the online device or possibly an update to the designer software to make the virtual device match the online device's version. Any mismatch will prevent the deploy button from being active until the mismatch is resolved. Use Designer's built-in firmware updater to assist in the process. Now that the room is deployed, any changes will be applied in real time to the online devices, and are also stored as the latest online room settings within Designer. If I want to share the project with a colleague, I would go to Projects, and in this project's row, I would open the More Options icon and then select Export. My colleague would then need to use Import to get the project and this new room in their Designer database. When I'm done tuning this room and I unplug from the network, you'll see that my room is now shown as an offline room, a blank circle and filled-in door icon. You can also save a copy from the offline room state if you want to store that as a design for future reference or deployment. Notice the icon of the new room becomes that of a room design, just an outline of a door, representing the room design is virtual.